jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing.
If you think modern Christmas is great, wait until you learn about our abandoned customs. Back then, holidays were not about flashy devices or online shopping sprees. Nah, Christmas was deeply magical. Imagine a time when neighborhoods glowed with glittering lights, the wonderful aroma of gingerbread cookies wafted through my home. Neighbors sang choir together and laughter rang like jingle bells. That sounds cool, doesn't it? Remember the good old days when such simple traditions surrounded us with love and joy? So let's go back a little bit. Consider this video a time capsule, opening the box of traditions we've left behind. Take a cup of hot cocoa, relax, and experience the joy of Christmas past. Let's go. Number 1. Homemade Christmas decorations. Let's start with DIY Christmas decorations. Christmas was not always about sparkling store-bought ornaments. In the past, families created their own magic. Christmas decorations used to be all about heart rather than precision. Families sat around the kitchen table, scissors in one hand and glue in the other hand, and got creative. They'd construct paper decorations, tie popcorn garlands, and even utilize old buttons and ribbons to create one-of-a-kind items. Sure, the glitter pot got everywhere, and not every snowflake was symmetrical, but that was part of the appeal. Wreaths fashioned with pine cones, star-shaped decorations, and garlands strung with popcorn and cranberries. Each item was a labor of love. Each item offered a tale, whether it was a painted pine cone or a popsicle stick reindeer. These trinkets hung proudly on the tree, reminding us of our warm crafting sessions. Unfortunately, very few people take the time to craft nowadays, with everyone hurrying to acquire bright, mass-produced decorations. The heart and spirit of Christmas appear to have vanished. We need to restart those craft nights. Consider meeting around the table again, laughter filling the air as we make our own distinctive decorations. Let us restore that spirit. Homemade decorations may endow our homes with warmth and affection. They remind us that Christmas is all about spending time with family, being creative, and crafting memories. So have your stuff ready and get started. You'll be astonished by how much excitement it restores to the holiday season. Number 2. Caroling in the neighborhood. Remember Christmas carols? It was like bringing the Christmas mood on tour. Friends, families, and neighbors would gather together, grab their songbooks, and hit the streets. You'd hear faint voices singing "Deck the Halls" or "Jingle Bells" as they walked door to door, spreading holiday happiness. It was a reminder that even in the middle of winter, warmth could be found in the most basic things. It wasn't about striking exactly the right notes. It was about having fun, laughing, and perhaps embarrassing oneself a little. People would occasionally join in from their own doorsteps. Occasionally, they'd welcome carolers inside for cookies and chocolate. It was more than simply music. It was about community. But let's face it, caroling has waned with time. Perhaps it's because everyone is so engrossed in their devices these days. Or perhaps people have just become too busy, and some people may be shy singing in front of others. In any case, we should revive this custom. Imagine the thrill of rekindling those friendships and sharing laughter and music with your neighbors. So gather your buddies, dust off those songbooks, and hit the streets. Let us rekindle this great custom and share holiday pleasure as we used to. Trust me, it will be an unforgettable event for everyone involved. Number 3. Writing letters to Santa. Now let us discuss sending letters to Santa. Remember how wonderful and amazing it felt to sit down with your favorite crayons or markers? Crafting those handwritten cards full of wishes felt like magic. What were you looking for? A brand new toy? A bicycle? Perhaps simply for Christmas Day to bring snow. It was nearly more exciting to wait for Santa's response than the actual Christmas morning. Some children received letters back, replete with official stamps from Santa himself. It was all part of the magic. However, it was more than simply a wish list. Children would be imaginative, sketching pictures, applying stickers, and even asking Santa how the reindeer were doing. And the best part? Sealing the envelope and dreaming that it will travel to the North Pole. However, these days, kids express their wishes by text or email, or worse, they just tell Alexa what they want. While technology is nice, it doesn't have the same enchantment. The excitement of sealing an envelope and placing it in the mailbox has been lost online. Let's bring back the fun of writing letters to Santa. Encourage children to put their dreams on paper again. It's an excellent approach to stimulating imagination and creativity over the Christmas season. Plus, who wouldn't want to experience an adrenaline rush again? Let us make letter writing a beloved tradition once more. Number 4. Classic Christmas movies on TV. Remember when watching Christmas movies was a family activity? You'd go to the TV guide, circle the air dates for classics like It's a Wonderful Life and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and spend the entire night together watching them. Back then, there was no on-demand option. If you missed it, you lost out. But perhaps that's what made it so rare. We'd eat popcorn, drink hot chocolate, and laugh together as we followed our favorite characters on their Christmas travels. Those films drew us together and generated lasting memories. Streaming services are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but binge watching lacks the same magic. When everything is always available, nothing seems exceptional. There's something about old school movies that impacts you differently. They remind us of simpler times when the holidays weren't so hectic and stressful. They were about slowing down, laughing, and being appreciative. So let's recapture that feeling. Make time for family movie nights over Christmas week. Dust out your DVDs or look for classics on the television schedule. Gather everyone for some laughs and perhaps a few tears, because who doesn't cry when It's a Wonderful Life? Number 5. Christmas pageants and plays. Now, let's get into Christmas pageants and performances. Christmas pageants were very popular back then. Remember when schools, churches, and community centers held joyful performances? Those celebrations were filled with joy and excitement as children dressed up as shepherds, angels, or wise men, eager to recount the Christmas tale with as much enthusiasm as possible. Sure, the performances weren't always Oscar-worthy, but come on now, that was part of the appeal. Parents filled the auditorium, taking photographs and cheering as if their child had just won a Grammy. It was more than simply a performance, it was a community coming together. Pageants have a way of bringing people together. Children were taught collaboration and responsibility, while adults interacted via rehearsals and potluck dinners. It was a custom that left lasting memories for everyone involved. These performances, however, began to diminish with time. We no longer feel the same sense of camaraderie over the holidays because of hectic schedules and the rise of digital distractions. It wouldn't hurt to bring back this beloved custom. Schools may use performance art to bring families together for Christmas celebrations by hosting short plays or community events. It would be quirky to see children playing out events from the Nativity or singing songs. Reviving pageants may strengthen communal ties while giving children new memories. So this Christmas season, let's be inventive. Put your scripts away and begin organizing some joyous performances. Number 6. Midnight church services. Next up, midnight church services. There's something really magical about attending a candlelit liturgy on Christmas Eve. The warm illumination of candles in the dark produces a peaceful and spiritual environment. Families would bundle up and go to church, braving the cold for this annual rite. The service was more than simply the chants and hymns. It was about taking a moment to contemplate in the midst of the holiday frenzy. The church would smell like pine and wax. And what about the music? Oh, that could give you the goosebumps. Kids struggled to keep awake, dozing out on their parents' shoulders, but they'd always cheer for Silent Night, especially when it was snug by candlelight. The dancing flames seemed almost sacred, a reminder of the true essence of Christmas. These days, midnight church services have lost some of their luster. Fewer people come, and let's be honest, watching a service from your sofa feels different. Entering church late at night, however, has a profoundly calming effect. Whether you are religious or not, the tradition itself is valuable. It's a period of calm, an opportunity to slow down and reconnect with the spirit of the season. If you've never attended a midnight service, you should try it. Alternatively, if it's been years since your previous one, consider returning. It's not only about faith, it's about finding a calm spot for reflection and peace of mind amid a hectic world full of noise and distractions. Number 7. Christmas card exchanges. Remember when sending Christmas cards was a huge deal? You'd go to the mailbox and find it loaded with envelopes from friends, relatives, and maybe even your neighbor down the street. Each card was unique, with handwritten remarks, family photographs, or elaborate sparkly embellishments. Writing cards was a labor of love, a chance to connect with loved ones. You'd settle down with a package of cards, a cup of cocoa, and perhaps some Christmas music in the background. Selecting the appropriate card for each person seemed personal, almost like a small gift. Throughout December, families would proudly display cards in their homes as beloved treasures. It was great to get cards with images and kind wishes from loved ones close and far. Today, it's all about text messages and e-cards. Convenient, sure. However, let's be honest, they don't have the same impact. A card you can grasp in your hand, written in someone else's handwriting, just has more significance. Consider reinstating this tradition. Gather some cards, sit down with your family, and write some emotional notes. It doesn't need to be fancy, simply honest. Send them out and see what smiles they bring. So go get some stationery and start writing. You'd be astonished at how much joy these small acts can provide throughout the holiday season. Number 8. Family baking sessions. If you've ever spent a day creating Christmas sweets, you'll know that it's more than simply cookies. It's about the commotion, the laughing, and the wonderful aromas that fill the house. Baking used to be a huge family event. Recipes were passed down as treasure maps with secret ingredients and scribbled comments in the margins. Children would be in charge of decorating the cookies, piling on sprinkles and frosting until they were almost unrecognizable. Sure, the kitchen resembled a battle zone by the end. Flour everywhere, sticky counters, and someone always burning a batch. However, that was part of the enjoyment. And the best part? Sneaking warm cookies from the plate when no one was watching. Nowadays, most people prefer cooking something quick or to grab a box of store-bought cookies. And although it is okay, it is not the same. Baking together is about more than simply the finished product. It's also about the journey. Why don't we revive this custom? Choose a day, get the family together, and make a homemade dish. It doesn't need to be flawless. In fact, the dirtier the better. An extra advantage is getting to share baked goods with your neighbors. No dessert from the supermarket could ever convey "I care" like a tray of homemade cookies. Now get your hands dirty, turn up the oven, and begin baking memories and cookies. Number 9. Big community tree lightings. Now let's move on to big communal tree lightings, which were the perfect way to kick off the holiday season. Town squares would be crowded with families, children running around, and everyone wrapped up in scarves and mittens. The air was filled with anticipation and maybe the aroma of hot chocolate from a neighboring stall. The countdown was undoubtedly the highlight. 3, 2, 1. The tree would light up and the audience would applaud. It wasn't just about the lights, it was about being together and sharing that special moment. These activities were more than simply a ceremony. They provided an opportunity for neighbors to reconnect, children to meet Santa, and everyone to feel as if they were a part of something larger. Unfortunately, a magnificent Christmas tree adorned with festive ornaments is no longer as prevalent. Sure, some communities still have them, but they don't always attract the same numbers. Perhaps people are too busy, or they have forgotten how great it is to gather together for something so simple. So let's be the change we want in our neighborhood. If your community has a tree lighting, attend. If they don't, it might be time to create one. These gatherings are about more than just the tree. They are also about the people that hang out around it. I mean, there is something really amazing about a massive tree lighting up in the night sky. It reminds us of the excitement, wonder, and warmth that the holidays represent. Let's rekindle that magic. Number 10. New Year's Eve celebrations. Finally, let's talk about New Year's Eve parties. Remember how large these gatherings used to be? Families met for special feasts full of fun, and resolutions flew about like confetti. Traditions like making New Year's resolutions were a big deal. You'd sit around the table, thinking about your goals for the next year. Sure, most resolutions didn't last past January, but it was the thought that counted. Then there was the party. People would dress up, clink glasses, and sing Auld Lang Syne, if their lives depended on it. Kids joined in the festivities, banging pots and pans at midnight to welcome the new year. It was raucous, crazy, and completely memorable. New Year's has become less festive. Yes, there are still parties, but they are not as family-friendly. And let's be honest, seeing the ball drop on TV doesn't exactly convey the magic. Why not revive those old-school celebrations? Host a meal, invite your neighbors, and make it a memorable evening. Bring out the noisemakers, goofy hats, and maybe even a karaoke machine for a touch of 70s nostalgia. There's more to New Year's Eve than the clock striking midnight. It's about hope, enthusiasm, and spending time with those who are most important to you. Let's make it a party worth staying awake for. Wow, what a journey! We walked through lovely recollections of Christmas customs that made our hearts sing. From making cookies to secret Santa surprises, these experiences molded our Christmas attitude. So, what were your favorite Christmas traditions in the past? Please let us know in the comments. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Also, remember to like and subscribe for more vintage fun. Until next time, stay groovy, stay merry, and keep spreading that holiday cheer. Peace, love, and happy holidays.